Hi cozy friends, I am in the reset mood. Something about spring just gets, I don't know why I'm holding oranges. Something about spring just gets me in the mood to reset my life, get everything back on track, to just make sure I'm set, I'm packed away, I'm organized, I'm on top of things so that I can enjoy summer, you know what I mean? And so it's time for spring reset, but also this is just my reset routine for like every single week. So I have a template on Notion that I use for every week, for every month, and for every quarter. And so today I'm just gonna go through my weekly routine. It's pretty straightforward, like all of the usual things you would expect from a reset. I have some home stuff, I have some like personal admin stuff, I have some finance stuff, then of course like social stuff. So this is just gonna be kind of an overview of that, and then also just kind of a body doubling experience. Like if you also want to go through and reset, you just need a little motivation to get some admin work done, I will be here with you working through this list, working through different things in my house. So it's a perfect little time for us to be productive together for the start of spring. I will say that I do not actually do this every week. Like I do have a weekly reset template, but it's more like every other week, or the weeks that I all of a sudden realize, oh, I haven't done this in like a month. I need to get back on it. It is my goal to do this every week, and it is actually so genuinely helpful to do it every week. It's not one of those things where it's like, okay, weekly reset, you know, it would be nice. Like, no, it genuinely, all of the things on my list, it genuinely makes my life easier to have done every week. So it is something that I do strive to do every week, but it's not always the case. Sometimes, some weeks fall through the cracks. So I'm gonna kind of reacquaint myself with everything that's happening in my computer world right now and just kind of get clear so that I can get started on the reset, if that makes sense. And then I'm gonna get started explaining to you my whole reset process. All right, let's go. I'm just gonna do a little, I'm gonna be tip-a-tapping over here and then we'll chit chat. Another thing I've incorporated into my admin keeping track of things is a physical habit tracker. I feel like with me, I kind of need to try a bunch of different types of tracking and a bunch of different types of like organization, whether it's physical, whether it's digital, whatever, to see what like really sticks. And sometimes that changes. Sometimes in different seasons of my life, like I'm all loyal to the physical planner, and like I cannot live without looking at what I'm doing today in the physical planner. And then sometimes it's digital. Right now I'm more of like the digital planning and like digital tasks. I use Google Tasks religiously, and it's nice because I can see it on my phone and my computer, so I just know what I have to get through. And then recently I started using the whiteboard to-dos. So I'll do digital and the whiteboard, so I can kind of like break things down on my whiteboard. It's easy for me to like see what I have to do every day. It's easy for me to change when I need to shift things around and reprioritize. So it changes, and I am totally a proponent of keep trying different things all the time and see what works for you until something sticks. Or it's okay to like move in and out of different things if different things work for you. You don't have to like feel bad that like, oh, this works for someone else and it doesn't work for me, or like this used to work for me and now it doesn't, I'm inconsistent now. Just find the thing that's working for you in that moment, in that time, and that is great as long as it's working at all. That's great. But just keep trying until you find the thing. So that's what I'm gonna do with habit trackers. I'm gonna see if this works. I think it'll help for just consistency, because all of the habit tracking I do is truly just in my head. And so it doesn't actually, there's no real accountability. I'm like, well, I didn't go yesterday, so I already forgot about it, you know? Not great for accountability, but this is, because I can see with my own eyes how many days I've actually done something and when I'm kind of slipping up and letting something slide. So that's nice. That's just like a little added admin thing I wanted to share with y'all. But let's jump into the reset. I'm so excited to show you this. I will first kind of explain shortly, so shortly because I have a whole video on Notion, but I'll kind of just explain how Notion works and why I like to use Notion. And then we're just getting into the substance. We're getting into the meat of it and the actual reset. So come on, I'll show you. All right, friends, settle on in while I talk to you about my little Notion page, my weekly reset. This is the overall page, and this lives within my personal Notion page. I don't have a template for this. I don't know if I'm going to ever have a template for this for all my Notion people who are like, where's the template? It takes a while for me to like scrub everything and then create a template. So I don't know if I will ever do a template, but I will tell you that I made all of these little headings and stuff on Canva, and it's very very easy to do if you also want to make your own on Canva. You basically just have to find the dimensions of the little headers that you want, and you can just search that on Google, or you can kind of figure it out for yourself, just like however big you actually want them to be. You do little headers and you can just create them however you want. I just found some cute pictures on Pinterest. I removed the backgrounds of them and I created these. I did talk a little bit more about this process and kind of like my overall Notion page in the like year reset video. It was like the 2024 year reset video. So if you want a little more in-depth explanation, that's that. But this is my overall Notion. This is like where I organize kind of everything in my life, but this is not where I look for my day-to-day tasks. I look for my day-to-day tasks in Google Tasks, and like I said, I write them out on the whiteboard. This is more for kind of overall personal admin and keeping everything kind of organized. So I have my resets over here. So when I click on weekly resets, it brings us to this page, and this is what I do ideally every week. I originally got this idea from Michelle B, who's a YouTuber. She's been doing the productivity game for a long time, like since I was in college, I think. The first thing is emptying email inboxes. This is usually a pretty quick process because I kind of keep them clear throughout the week, but sometimes the week's a little crazy, things get piled up, and I have a very full inbox. Let's do that. Okay, now that that's done, checked off, let's clear the downloads folder. This is also usually pretty quick. I go to the downloads of whatever tech I have, whether it's my phone, my laptop, or my PC. I go through all of them and I just make sure my downloads folder is cleared and sorted. So right now I don't have too much, but we're gonna go through this and make sure it's all organized. I have a lot of Sims CC in here right now, so I have to actually like unzip those and put those in the right mods folder. But other than that, it's kind of just stuff I can get rid of. So let's do that. Okay, now that that's done, now it's process all loose papers, mail, and receipts. So this, I usually don't have to do anything for this, but when I do, I absolutely need to do it because otherwise it's just going to be like sitting on my desk. It's going to be tucked away somewhere, or I just like forget it exists and I don't like mail back a form I have to mail back or file a tax form or something like that. So this is absolutely vital to keep on here, even though it doesn't happen that often. But
right now I don't have anything, so I'm gonna check it.
I actually have one thing. It's a wedding, what's it called? Invitation. So I'm gonna do a little RSVP gift registry thing.
Archive any games or Audible books. So this is really vital for keeping my tech storage space real clear, because as a creator, and just I think this would go for anybody, it's nice to have storage space on your phone, not have to worry about your storage space getting used up. But for me as a creator, there's nothing worse than like being in the middle of recording something and then it's like your storage space is full. Oh my God. Oh man. And so I always make sure to go through Audible books because those take up so much space. And so I make sure to archive, and even going into storage afterwards and like fully deleting them within your storage settings, because that's apparently a different thing. Always do that, because I'm not going to go re-listen to a book. And if I am, I'll leave it. That's fine. And then I do the same thing with games on my Switch. I will archive them. Games on my PC, I will uninstall them just to keep space open for when I want to get new games. I did most of this already, but we will check this off, make sure everything's good to go. And next is clearing out phone photos. So clearing out phone photos has the same function. We want to make sure we have as much storage as humanly possible. So I have Google Photos. This has been kind of my photo workflow for years and years. Now, after I lost all of my photos on my laptop, I believe it was. So I just don't have those anymore. But ever since then, I learned that you need to have stuff stored on the cloud. And like, of course, there's the argument of like, well, what happens if the cloud goes away? Yeah, that's a problem for another day. Okay. For now, let's just make sure everything is somewhere safe that is not on a piece of tech that can be ruined to go to poo-poo. So I have Google Photos, and I have just like, I don't know, like 5 terabytes or something. And every single photo that I have from my phone automatically syncs to my Google Photos whenever I'm connected to Wi-Fi, and it sends everything to Google Photos just passively, like in the background. And it's so lovely. It is literally just the best, because I'll go check, make sure the backup is backed up, and then I could go to my phone and delete every single photo or video that I don't currently need. So I do have a lot of photos left on my phone, and videos that are like things I haven't edited yet that I will do for future videos. But most of the things I can just kind of get rid of. It's so nice. It's nice to like not have a super cluttered phone photo storage, because I truly just use it for like work stuff. And then whenever I need to go find a photo, it's super easy to search stuff on Google Photos instead of like scrolling through my phone. Like when I go, oh, where's that picture of Chila? I can go to Google Photos. I can click on the photo of Chila, automatically finds all the photos of Chila, and then I can scroll and find, like that's my process for photos instead of looking at them on my phone. So I clear out all my phone photos. I do it on my iPad as well. And I just make sure everything is clear so we have lots of space. So now that we've done that, check that off. And the next thing is format my SD cards. This is something I often forget to do. And then I end up just like having this cyclical, terrible system where I've like recorded a whole vlog, and then all of a sudden I've started the next vlog on the same SD card, the like little memory cards on my camera. And it's chaos, and I can never tell what's what. So what I need to be doing is, once a video's done and once I've imported all of the videos into safekeeping places, I format them. That's what I usually do, but sometimes it gets a little hectic, like I said. So we are going to make sure everything is saved onto my computer, onto my hard drives on my computer. So once we have got those all clear and ready for the new videos for y'all, we can check this off. Formatting done. Woo! Okay, so the get clear part of our reset is done. That's kind of the space where we're clearing everything out. We're making sure everything's empty. We're just clearing, getting rid of the old, out with the old, in with the new. You know what I mean? That energy. Next is life stuff. I did this stuff this morning, so I will take you through that process right now so we can do a little body doubling house reset. So the first thing we're doing is watering our easy plants. These are on a 30-day cycle. And so I have this on the weekly reset, but I end up just doing it on the monthly reset cycle, but I just have it here just so that I kind of remember, like in case I missed it and need to remember on like a following week, I just have it here just in case. And I also have it on a Google Tasks reminder. So it's there until I check it off and it's done, but we need to water them every 30 days. And I listened to a lot of y'all's plant advice on the last cleaning video. Thank you so much. You don't understand how helpful it is. I downloaded the Planta app, so we are good to go with the plants that aren't easy plants. So any of the plants that I don't water on a 30-day basis because they're the easy plants that have like the self-watering situation, those I finally got a hold of on my Planta app. The water near the dirt. So we can finally check water easy plants off the list. Thank you, thank you. The next thing is resetting the litter box. Okay, I did the litter. The litter is reset. Hello, Sheila. Do you want a fresh pee, sir? Sir, can I interest you in a fresh pee? Fresh piss? Look, fresh piss. Fresh piss, sir? No. Okay. He wants a fresh pee on his own time. Litters swapped. I'm gonna do a little vacuum around here just to get up the little extra stray crystals and wash the crap out of my hands. Actually, I'm gonna do the other litters first, then wash my hands, and then we'll move on to the next task. Okay, we are checking this off the list. A stinky one, but a necessary one. And next, we are not washing the sheets. We are just replacing them. We are swapping them out with the clean sheets because I had just washed them like 2 days ago. So we are putting the sheets on the bed. Okay, we are checking that off. And we already cleaned out the fridge recently, so I'm actually going to check this off now. Done, already done and good and ready to go. If you're curious about that process though, I literally just open the fridge and I look at what is expired and I take it out. Very simple. Choose Cook Unity meals. I'm currently switching between Cook Unity and Factor, but right now I'm on Cook Unity. I'm on my Cook Unity grind. I'm liking it. And I have to choose every week meals for the next week. And if I don't choose, this is the same with Factor. If I don't choose, they kind of just give you random ones and I would die before I got randomized meals. That's my favorite part of my week is picking my meals for the week. So this is on the list so that I remember to do that. I usually remember because like I said, one of my favorite parts of the week, but if I don't, I have it here and I'm going to check that because I've already done it. I'm very excited. We're getting some Southern barbecue this week. It's a new one I haven't tried yet. Check. And the last thing is emptying garbage. This isn't the big garbage. This is because that's totally Ryan's domain. I'm not all the time. Sometimes I help. But this is the mini garbage cans all around. So like my desk garbage can, my bathroom garbage can, and then the little mini garbage can next to my bedside that I use for my skincare stuff. Checking this off. Okay, so the house area is complete. The house part of the list is complete. I'm so proud of us. Good job. Usually I skip this. I'm gonna be real. Usually I skip this and I go, well, I'm gonna do this throughout the week when it makes sense for me. Like it is so rare that I'm doing my sit down admin reset and then I get up and go do my house tasks. No, usually it's just me at the end of the week or beginning of the week checking through which ones I did throughout the week, if that makes sense. So just know this is not like a list that you have to do everything at the time. It can also just be a list to hold you accountable to make sure you did do the things throughout the week or like you have plans to do those things in the following week. Okay, next I have hobbies/personal. So this is updating the reading journal and the library. This is actually not currently updated. I did decide that I want to start 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So what I do is go to Google. I download a picture of the book and then I upload it and then I move it over here and make it smaller so that it fits with the rest of the things and it's not too big. So my currently reading, you can't see, can you? Because my head's in the way. There we go. Okay, see, it says currently reading. It is 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm so excited to read this. I've heard so many good things, and if y'all watched my last vlog, I went through just quite the experience of reading some terrible, terrible, terrible romance books, these two right here. So I'm in need of some better books. So I'm really excited about this one. And like I said, I don't know if I want to, I started both of these and I just don't know if I want to keep reading, but they're there. They're there. Everything else is updated, I believe, or is this, oh no, this is 4. Okay, so I read 4 physical books, just putting that there so that I know. And yeah, awesome. This is updated. I know my Goodreads is updated, so I don't have to go check that because I'd be updating that. I'd be ready to update it. Okay, so then I go back and we can check this off. The reading journal I will do later. That's another one of those things I'm like, I'm not going to get up in the middle of my reset and like go update the reading journal. That's something that I plan later, but I'm checking that off because it's planned already. We're good to go. Next is update the creativity hub from Pinterest and socials. I actually do have a couple that I want to add. So, you know, when you have like multiple spaces that you save information or like videos for reference, like for me, I have 5 million different places I save recipes and I never make them, but I just save them just in case. And I save them on Pinterest, in an Instagram folder. I save them in a TikTok folder. I have so many places for recipes. Well, I do the same thing for my craft projects. I just have a folder on each platform and I save them on that platform. But then like if I want an inspiration, if I want an idea for a craft project, I would have to go to 3 different sources to find them. So the point of this, and if you do cook a lot, I feel like this would be good for recipes too, is having like a centralized place for all of them and really finding the ones that like I actually do want to do. So basically what I do in this stage is go to my saved collections on Instagram and stuff. Okay. And because I have Notion on my phone, I can also update this on Notion on my phone, which is a lot easier. So I don't have to like send myself links and stuff. I just simply add a new one. See, I'm adding from my phone. So a new one popped up on there and I'm saying croissant candle holder. I'm adding the link to the video and then I'll show you what's happening. It's a hands-on one. So I'm adding the hands-on tag. There is not a guide. I would just have to simply follow the video. And then I have the hobby item and this is clay, regular clay, not polymer clay. So putting clay on there. And then the next thing I want to do is make sure that there's like a featured picture on the front so that it's easier to see. There we go. So I'm just going to put this up here. So then boom, you see the picture immediately. It's a little cut off, but that's okay because I can see what it is. So that's how I add to my craft kind of resource page. I'm going to check my Pinterest because that's one where I save most of my stuff is on Pinterest because Pinterest has such good little craft things. I love it. Also, you can check out my Pinterest because I save them all. I save a bunch of like cute hobby ideas on Pinterest. There we go. So I have that there, deleting that because I don't know why that's there. I also don't know why this is here. That shouldn't be there. Okay. So I'm going to have my craft ideas pin board there for easy access. And then I'm going to add just a couple more of my Pinterest ideas. Okay, so I've added like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I added 7 of the ideas that I kind of want to work with soon. And like I said, I'm going to talk more about the in-depth process of how I source stuff, how I organize this, and kind of like the categories that I have and all of that. I will get more into that on another video. But now we have updated that, so we can check that off our list. So now we are in Get Current territory. So this is everything that I need to do admin wise that helps me get up to date on things. So rather than clearing out, we are getting up to date. We are making sure we're on top of dates and to-dos and tasks. We're making sure we're updating other people on those things and staying communicative and just making sure all the cogs in this wheel of productivity are working as they should be at the pace they should be. That is what Get Current is about. First thing to do is review my calendar, and I do this 2 weeks out and update with any events, submissions, and post deadlines. So I do this weekly because sometimes things come up during the week that you had already done the week before, and you need to make sure that those are on the list too. And then as you're doing 2 weeks out, you're continually adding 1 week to make sure you're on top of 2 weeks out. As long as you're 2 weeks ahead of things, you're usually good to go. So I always make sure that I have everything on my Google Tasks and my Google Calendar for 2 weeks out. Okay, so what I do for this is I go on my management's Notion page. So my management uses Notion, and I won't show you that because there's a lot of personal information on that. And so I go on that Notion page and they have an entire list of like everything that has a set date. So any submissions that I have, any like streams that are scheduled, anything that has a specific date, a posting date, submission date, a date for sending insights, all of those things are listed on my agency's Notion page. So I can go out for as long, I could see however far out we have the farthest thing we have scheduled in the future, and I could put that on my calendar, but I don't because there's too many things. So I just, like I said, I go to 2 weeks out, I find everything, and I put it on my Google Task and Calendar. I feel like I just repeated myself 5 times. Sorry. So I'm gonna do that real quickly. Okay, now that we've done that, we can check that off. And then next is updating the physical calendar because, like I said, I do use multiple forms of productivity and staying on top of things and task keeping. I have my physical planner that I use. This is from Still Classics. We'll always use planners from Still Classics because I just love them. It's the only planner that I actually used for a full year straight. Like a full year straight, I used this planner. The only planner I've done that with. I'm usually the girl who just like buys a bunch of planners throughout the year, and I'm like, something will stick. Nothing did until this planner. But don't go running to buy one of these yet. Okay, pause. Put a pause on that. I won't say why, but pause. Don't go run out and buy one yet. Okay. But I do make sure that I go through and I write out any like meetings I have, any deadlines I have, anything on my physical planner. I write down my to-dos for the week or the next week, anything in like the big main calendar page, even though I never use that. I still write it down just because the more I write it down, the more I put it into my brain that something is happening, the harder it is for me to forget, and I will forget. We want to make it as difficult as possible for my brain to forget. So now that we've updated the physical planner, we can check that off the list. And next is skipping Amazon subscriptions if needed. This I actually recently added to this weekly reset because I realized I would get, we started a subscription for macadamia milk and we thought we would be drinking it at a much quicker pace because we usually go through milk very often. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to schedule it for every 2 weeks was like the shortest distance, the shortest amount of time you could do on Amazon. So every 2 weeks we would get a shipment of, I think 8 macadamia milks. We have too many macadamia milks now. We have too many. And then we did this thing where we were trying one macadamia milk. We didn't like that one, so we started the subscription on another one. And I canceled the subscription on the other one, but for some reason it's still sent. So we have like double the macadamia milk that we need at this point. So that plus another subscription we had that I just got too soon. I was like, make sure, girl, that you're skipping if needed. So I absolutely will be skipping the milks for a couple times until we actually need it again. Let's do that. Let's make sure that I don't have any milks coming soon when we don't need them. Okay, now that we've done that, let's check that off the list. And next is updating monthly timelines. This one is an idea I got from Ali Abdal. And basically you write out everything that happens to you in that month. It could be like it doesn't have to be a long journal entry. It could literally just be like 2 words. Photo shoot for X. Brand deal with X. Dinner with X. Went to Legoland. Things like that. Like you can write every single thing out. What I like to do is if I forgot, because like I said, I forget everything, I go through my pictures because I take a lot of pictures. Sometimes I'll go through like my Google Maps of history and just kind of see what I did that month if I forgot. Once again, the goal is that we're doing this weekly, so hopefully I like remember what I did that week and am able to just like add to the list. Some of this is personal, so I don't want to open these up and show you, but I do go through, add a little thing every week, and it's so nice to look back on in the year and just see everything you've done. And then it's almost like a little journal. Like if you are not great at keeping journals or you just don't like keeping journals, it's kind of like a very logical, like straightforward way to keep a journal and just have that archive. I've been doing them since 2021. Wow. January, February, March, April, May, June. Okay, we lost a little bit of 2021. Let's see. Did we do all of this one? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. We did all of 2023. Amazing. These are the years when I stopped doing legal work. Okay. And so you can see I had a little bit of more of a hold on my life and I was a little bit more consistent with things in my personal life. So that is that. But I keep the filter for 2024. So I just see what's happening this year and I can go back and update if needed. Like I'm a little behind actually starting from January. And so I do need to go back. I'm going to do a bit of a longer one this week where I go back and I make sure I have everything. I'm going to go back on my photos, on my maps, make sure that I have everything down here for every month. And then we'll be back on track and then we can go back on a weekly basis so that I don't have to kind of do a backlog situation. So let's do a little bit of that. We're checking that off. And the next thing is updating goals and habits in a physical planner. So in the physical planner I showed you, the still one, there's a section where there's like goals and habit tracking. And I think I need to adjust this to, I'm actually going to do that right now. Update just goals completions in physical planner. So I will go through and like write out any updates for like, yes, I did complete this part of the goal. Yes, I didn't, whatever. Yes, I didn't. No, I didn't. And then I'm going to put update habit tracker for the week. So this will be the physical one that I showed you, just making sure that's updated, and I did that. So checking that off, and we will do the goals real quick. Okay, checking that off, checking the goals off, and now updating toggle hours from the prior week. So this is something I started doing this year, and that is tracking my working hours. So all of the hours that I work during the week, because I'm self-employed, I like to track my hours because it's not just a 9 to 5 for me. Like I don't clock in at 9 and clock out and like, you know, work is left at work. So I like to track my hours. My reason for starting to do this was because I was working too much and I knew it. I knew I was working too much last year in 2023. And so I wanted to basically have like a wake up call for myself, or just like have a sense of accountability. So I would track my hours, and I saw just how much I was working, and I was shocked, flabbergasted, appalled, and kind of like shared it with other people. And they were like, Kennedy, that's insane. You are not well. And I was like, true. And so it really helped me come to terms with the fact that I was overworking myself. And the better thing, the more actionable thing that this did for me is show me where I could delegate work. So I saw what was taking up a lot of time for me, and especially a lot of time like outside of the 9 to 5 hours. And that was editing my YouTube videos. And I saw just how much time it was taking up. Like Toggle will split up the different tasks you have and give you kind of like a report. I saw just how much I was spending on YouTube editing, and I was like, I could be spending that time doing so many different things, ideating, you know, for new concepts for content, spending time on my other content, like short form content, even like spending more time on the actual YouTube videos. Because if I know I have to spend so much time throughout the week editing that video, I can't actually spend that much time on the video itself, because I know I'm going to have to spend more time editing. So now I'm able to actually spend more time on the videos themselves, planning them. If it's a more scripted style, scripting them. If it's a vlog, like just being able to be a little bit more free with it and spend more time vlogging. So that has been such a lovely result and outcome of using this tracker, was seeing where I could delegate, actually doing that and actually delegating. And now the way that I kind of use it is just making sure that I am staying on track throughout the week. So making sure that I am not working too little and also not working too much. I usually don't have a problem with working too little, but it does show me when I'm working too much. Like I never want to go over 50 hours a week. And so I use it to try and stay under 50 hours. And if I see myself creeping closer to 50 hours, like a little bit closer, a little bit earlier in the week, then I pare back and I plan differently. And I like say no to things with my management team, things like that. And so it has been a lifesaver for if you are self-employed, and even if you're not self-employed and you just want to create more boundaries at work, this is a great way to kind of keep track of all that. And I also think it is a great way to be confronted with certain truths. Like some are good truths, some bad truths, some are neutral truths. Either way, it's good to be confronted with those things. Like if I'm spending less time on planning content, I can literally see it in my hours that week. Like, oh, I wasn't actually planning that much content this week. I was kind of just like winging it. And sometimes that's fine. Sometimes I want to plan more content. So it definitely just allows you to really see what you're doing with your time. And that's really nice. And then I think the last thing is that it just kind of helps you stay on track during the work too. Like just something about tracking what I'm doing at the time. It makes me stay very focused. So if I'm like, okay, I'm doing admin hour, I will turn on the timer, it'll start going, and I'm like, okay, it's admin time. And I have to stop this timer that's tracking me if I stop doing admin work. And so it allows me to kind of get in that like deep work focus mode and then stop when I stop. It's also great for like knowing when to stop. And like, okay, it's 5 p.m. I'm seeing it's creep closer to 5 p.m. Like I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna cut things off. And that's also really nice. And then the last thing I'll say is it's great for knowing like when you need a vacation. Because I feel like when you're self-employed, even when you're not, I did this when I wasn't self-employed too, you can kind of just get into like a work zone and not come up for air and be like, it's time for a vacation, it's time for a break. So if you're going through and kind of reviewing your weekly reports or just like going back throughout the month or the year, and you're seeing there isn't a week where you haven't worked a minimum of 40 hours, it's time for a break maybe. You know, after a while, maybe it's time for a break. So I think that's another good way to just like hold yourself accountable. So we're gonna make sure that all of my hours from this week are accounted for in Toggle, because sometimes I won't actually be doing it at the time that I'm working. Because sometimes, I don't know, I wake up and I'm like straight into it and I forget that I'm even supposed to be tracking my time. If I do forget, then I go back at the end of the week and I just like use emails to see what I was doing. I use like my own content to see when I was working on stuff, Slack messages. I just kind of go through and like piece together what I was doing. Yeah, put that right on in. So let's do that. Okay, now we're done with that. Next is reviewing my posting schedule and updating that. So the way that I use my posting schedule, this is from January. What I do is I create a little item, like I create a little page for the idea that I have, and I write down the idea, and then I'll usually like put it on a future date. And so then throughout the week, I will go through and drag onto the date I want to post that idea. So I'll be like, okay, that'll be a good thing for Monday. And then when I have all of these ideas, I kind of spread them out. So like maybe I'll do a more gaming focused one here, a more reading one here, like kind of try and spread out like the themes of my short form videos because there's so many throughout the week. And then I also use this for scripting my YouTube videos. So if it's like a list one, if it's one where I'm like talking to the camera, I do have like a rough script. It's not like line by line. It's just like, here's the category and then I chat about it. So I will script that out on this page. If you click on it, it'll have a whole script. For my vlogs, I obviously don't script those, but those are there just so that I know when I'm posting the vlogs and stuff. Yeah, so that's how that works. So one, make sure I have ideas, and then two, make sure I am like spacing them out on the days. Huge disclaimer for this: if you are a content creator or you are interested in content creation, I don't stick to this. Often it changes. Like if a brand is all of a sudden like, oh, actually we want you to post this on this day, I'm like, okay, and then things shift around. Or if I like don't feel great that day and I don't feel like filming content, and then things get shifted back. Or if something comes up and I'm like, actually I want to make a video about this, things get shifted. So things shift all the time, but I just have this here as like something to fall back on, something that's like a rough plan for the week. I will say I do stick to the YouTube plans very firmly because those I kind of had to plan far in advance. So I do stick to the YouTube ones. So let me get into that and then we'll move on to the next thing. Check that off. Next is updating the weekly content plan. So I actually don't do this often. I'm just going to check that. That's more of like a in-depth idea space. And I have a ton of unused ideas right now that I know that I have. So I actually don't need to kind of go into idea mode. So we're checking that off. Next is updating the YouTube editing and posting schedule for Eddie. Hey, Eddie. That is just making sure that the dates for when I need a edit by and when I need to post it by, because sometimes if there's a brand integration, we have to post it by a specific date and I can't kind of like do it whichever day the video is ready. And so we have this here just for that purpose of like, okay, this time it needs to be ready Monday so that I can review it and then I can do my final edits and then we can post it a couple days later. So I'm going to make sure that that's all up to date for Eddie. Okay, that's done. Check. Next is catching up on needed Discord channels. So this is just, I'm part of so many Discord channels and sometimes the notifications pile up. And also for my own Discord channel, which I love my Discord. It's like such a safe space. This is my smaller one that's more kind of my streaming community focused. I love it dearly and I love popping in there and saying hi, but like sometimes I just get so overwhelmed by notifications that I just pretend Discord doesn't exist. So this is a good weekly reminder to like go through the different channels and like see if anybody's tagged me in anything, for like if they're asking for links for anything, we have a channel for that. If they want to show me something, or I just want to say hi or like say happy birthday to people, this is the time when I like go through and make sure I'm kind of like staying in the loop in the Discord. So let's do that. Okay, now that that's done, we are going to check the Twitch VOD thumbnail and title. This is going to sound like not English to some of you, but it makes sense to me. It's just like a little Twitch admin thing I have to do. It's really quick. I'm just going to check it off because I've already done this week. The next thing is adding content from the week to Pinterest, and I check with Maya on this one. This is just me uploading all of my videos and photos that I want on Pinterest to a Google Drive folder that I share with Maya, and then Maya at the end of the week goes and uploads those. I used to do this myself and it would take hours, and now I have outsourced that to Maya. Thank you, Maya. That's been an amazing help. Yeah, just one of those admin things that was taking up a lot of my time, and I realized that too late. All right, we're gonna check that as done because I did already do this. This is actually not something I'm doing yet, so I'm just going to check that off, but I will do it in the future. It's basically the same process as Pinterest, but with the Amazon storefront and LTK posts, but I just haven't done that yet because I'm not prioritizing those too much. And then the next one is checking my to-do list, admin, and projects. That's just like a long to random to-do list. Like any to-do I have in my head, I put it on this list. And if I have time that week, I'll like go through and check and see if there's anything I could do or if I've already done it. And yeah, but I don't have any extra time this week, so I'm not going to do that. So checking that off. Okay, next is budgeting. Next is finances. Oh my goodness. This is the one I often avoid. Oh man, I do be avoiding this one. But like I said with my habits and my to-dos and I do the same thing with budgets where I'm trying everything until I find something that works. Recently, I switched to You Need a Budget, which is something some finance YouTubers I watch use. I'm seeing if that works. I used to use an Excel doc and kind of manually do things, but I realized the manual thing is too much for me. And so You Need a Budget is just like this platform where it links to all your accounts so you don't have to manually put things in. And then it's assigning every single income dollar that you have to something. Like that's the whole philosophy is like if you have something assigned to every single dollar, or you have a dollar assigned to every single category, no dollar left, then you won't be just like wasting money. And the good thing is there's categories for like fun money and oh shit money and like things that like you have categories for fun stuff. It's not just like, oh, you have to spend it all on rent and savings and that's it. No, there's like a bunch of categories so that you are actually just like spending it on yourself and also savings and stuff, but it's making sure that you are doing that. It's like assigning the dollar to something. So that's just something I'm trying recently. We'll see if it sticks. We'll see if I like it, but I am going to update that because I recently imported all of the data but haven't fully categorized it yet. So I'm going to go through and categorize. Now that we're done with that, thank God. Next, I have to balance my books for the week. I do my own accounting, not like tax stuff. I have a tax person, but I do my own book balancing because it is straightforward. And I used to have to do it as a kid for my dad's business. I fully was bookkeeping like under 16 years old. I don't even know if that's like fully legal, but I was doing that. I was bookkeeping for my dad's martial arts company. So yeah, like my mom taught me bookkeeping. My dad did, and they were like, do your own bookkeeping. It's very straightforward. So it is very straightforward. I didn't even have to have that experience as a kid, but I think having that experience as a kid made me have the confidence to do it as an adult. But now as an adult, I'm realizing it's really not that difficult. You just have to categorize things. And once you kind of know the categories, you're good. So I go through and I balance my business books. So I have like a S Corp for this content business that I have, which is probably weird for people who are not content creators. But as a content creator, you have a business and you are are the business, if that makes sense. You know, if you have like a cake company, you would have an LLC for your cake company, and then you like are a worker within that company. It's the same thing as a content creator. It was an LLC, now it's an S Corp, and I am an employee within that. I get a salary from my business, and my business is like content stuff. It's very interesting. But because of that, I do have to balance books because I have separate bank accounts and stuff for my business. So let's do that. Checking that off. That one's usually pretty easy. I stay on top of that pretty regularly. Just it's pretty straightforward. And the next one is pay any bills due. I just have this on a weekly basis because I do have a bunch of reminders in all different forms. I have them on my Google Tasks. I have them on my calendar. I have them everywhere. I just make sure that I have this on a weekly basis just in case I want to pay anything like ahead of time or something. We already did this, so I'm going to check this off. Check investments and add on as needed. This is usually just like me kind of peering at my investment portfolio and looking and seeing if I want to add anything. I don't know. Like, I usually don't, but sometime if I'm like, oh, I have a little extra here, I'm going to add it to my investment portfolio, then I do that. But I'm not going to do that this week. So checking that off because I have a automatic payment that goes to my investments twice a month. So yeah, I usually don't have to think about that, but it's there anyways. Process reimbursements. This is also a business related thing. I have reimbursements for myself. Like a part of my phone bill and my internet bill is reimbursed by my company that I own. And so I just like process that sometimes and I save like receipts and all that. So I'm checking that off because I actually don't have any reimbursements that I haven't already done from the week before. So we're checking that off. And then adding receipts, again, same. I already have done this for the past week and I don't have any new receipts. And I usually don't have that many actual receipts for things. So we are checking that off. And we are done with our weekly reset. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of us. Let's chat some more about it. All right, y'all, we finished the reset. It always feels so good. I feel like a huge weight is off my shoulder every time I finish a reset. I like to do these either on like a Sunday or a Monday or a Friday, kind of whichever day works out best for me. But I like to either like start the week with it done or end the week with it done or do it on a weekend where I can feel like I can start the week fresh and reset. But like I said, it doesn't happen every single week, even though I'd like it to, just because things come up. And then also it doesn't really matter to me like which day it's on. So never ever be too hard about yourself about resets and like keeping consistency or whatever, because it's at the end of the day, they're just meant to help you. They're meant to like help you keep things organized. It's not meant to be another thing you like beat yourself up about if you don't like stay on top of it. But I think resets do help with staying on top of kind of everything in your life, which is really nice. You always feel really great after. So if you kind of like needed a structure for resets or kind of needed like context for why resets exist or like my function for resets, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was the right guidance for you. I love to do these with y'all. I love the little body doubling productivity. So if y'all like these, let me know and I will do more in the future. Like it really helps me get things done and like crack down when I do it with y'all. And best of luck on all of your resets and your resets of the future. Do it with like a fun snack and a fun YouTube video on in the background or a fun show to binge. Make something fun about it that makes you actually kind of excited to dive in and organize your life. That's that though. I love you so much. Stay cozy. I'll see you next time. Bye.